Mike Tyson is a legend in boxing, known for his explosive power, legendary knockouts, and fearsome presence. What made Tyson such an icon? Let's dive into his incredible journey. Mike Tyson grew up in the tough streets of Brooklyn, New York. After a troubled youth, his path changed when he met legendary trainer Cus D'Amato, who saw Tyson's raw potential and guided him to greatness. Could Tyson transform from a street kid to a champion? Tyson's intense training under D'Amato's guidance made him a dominant force. At just 20 years old, Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, making history with his mix of speed, strength, and intensity. Tyson wasn't just a boxer, he was a phenomenon. Tyson's knockouts were legendary. One of his most famous came against Michael Spinks in 1988, where he knocked him out in just 91 seconds. Tyson didn't just win, he destroyed his opponents. Could anyone challenge his unmatched power? Tyson's intimidating persona struck fear into his opponents before the fight even began. His peekaboo style was feared by many, and he became a spectacle in the ring. How many fighters could win before the bell even rang? Tyson could. Tyson faced a number of personal and professional challenges. His infamous 1997 fight with Evander Holyfield, where Tyson bit Holyfield's ear, marked a low point in his career. Could Tyson overcome these personal demons? Tyson's resilience is legendary. After years of struggles, Tyson made a comeback in 2020, proving his fighting spirit had never died. How many fighters can say they've made two comebacks, one in the ring and one in life? Tyson's legacy is about more than just his record. It's about his rise, fall, and redemption. His story continues to inspire both inside and outside the boxing ring. Could anyone else have lived the life Tyson has lived? Probably not. Jake Paul is one of the most controversial figures in boxing today. Known for his YouTube antics, he shocked the world by entering the boxing ring. But how did he go from internet star to boxer? Let's explore Jake Paul's surprising rise in the sport. Jake Paul first gained fame on Vine and later YouTube with his pranks and attention-grabbing videos. His controversial antics made him famous, but also led to widespread criticism. What led Jake Paul to take up boxing? Was it fame or something deeper? In 2018, Jake Paul announced he was transitioning to boxing. While many doubted him, Jake had been training for years and had a serious interest in combat sports. Was Jake Paul really committed to boxing, or was it just another publicity stunt? Jake's first fight was in January 2018 against YouTuber Deji Olatunji, which he won by TKO. Jake's dedication to boxing was clear. He wasn't just messing around. His intense training routines and commitment became his trademark. Was Jake Paul truly serious about boxing? In 2020, Jake faced Nate Robinson, a former NBA star, and knocked him out cold in the second round. The knockout went viral and solidified Jake's credibility as a boxer. Could Jake Paul really be a legitimate threat in the ring? Jake's main motivation was to prove his doubters wrong and show he had the discipline and toughness to succeed in boxing. It wasn't just about attention or fame, it was about challenging himself and achieving greatness. Jake Paul faced his biggest challenge yet in 2021, when he fought former UFC champion Tyron Woodley. Jake won by split decision.
Winner by split decision, Jake Paul!
Solidifying his status as a legitimate boxer. Was this Jake Paul's turning point? Jake Paul remains a polarizing figure in boxing, bridging the gap between social media fame and professional fighting. His next moves in the sport are eagerly anticipated, and his future in boxing is uncertain. Could Jake Paul continue to surprise the world with his boxing skills, or will critics catch up with him? On November 15, 2024, the fight between Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. The difference between a good boxer and a great one often lies in their training, mental toughness, and strategy. Legends like Mike Tyson didn't just rely on raw power, they relied on rigorous preparation. Meanwhile, fighters like Jake Paul, with his non-traditional path, prove that even newcomers can rise to the challenge. How do these two fighters prepare for battle? Let's look at their training camps. Tyson's training, especially in his prime, was legendary. Under Cus D'Amato, Tyson developed a terrifying combination of speed, power, and precision. His famous heavy bag workouts and impeccable footwork were key to his success. Tyson's mental strength, shaped by D'Amato, made him not only a powerhouse physically, but a force of intimidation mentally. Now, at 57 years old, Tyson's approach has shifted to technique and maintaining stamina, but his discipline and strategic thinking are still core to his workouts. Jake Paul, a self-made fighter, has worked relentlessly to transition from YouTube star to boxer. His early training focused on basic skills like jab, counter cross gears, and footwork. Over time, he incorporated more advanced techniques like head movement and timing. Jake's work ethic is unmatched, training hours at a time, refining his punches, and building mental strength. Despite his progress, the question remains, is Jake Paul's rapid improvement due to his dedication, or is there a hidden strategy pushing him forward? Tyson's trainer, D'Amato, created an invincible mindset in Tyson. Today, Tyson's current trainers focus on keeping his punches sharp and his mind focused. For me now, Jake Paul, trainer BJ Flores, plays a crucial role in developing his technique and mental strength. Jake's challenge is to continue refining his skills while facing tougher opponents and maintaining his hunger for victory. Tyson's strategy focused on explosive offense, getting inside, landing power shots, and using head movement. Against Jake Paul, Tyson would leverage his experience and power. Paul, on the other hand, would likely focus on staying at range, using his speed and youth to outlast Tyson and avoid his devastating punches. The fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul goes beyond just belts and money. It's about legacies, personal pride, and who each fighter is. For Tyson, it's about proving he can still compete at the highest level, while for Paul, it's about establishing himself as a legitimate boxer. But the consequences are huge. This fight could shape both of their futures. Mike Tyson's legacy as one of the greatest boxers ever is untouchable, but at 57, he must prove he can still compete at the highest level. Tyson's motivations for this fight are about pride and legacy, proving to the world he hasn't lost his touch. However, a loss to Jake Paul could tarnish his reputation, making people question whether his prime was a mere flash in the pan. The stakes for Tyson are incredibly high. A loss would mean questioning his place in boxing history. Jake Paul doesn't come from a boxing background, but a victory over Tyson could validate his career and establish him as a legitimate boxer. Beating Tyson would silence his critics and prove he's more than a YouTuber. However, a loss to a fighter as old as Tyson would be a devastating blow, reinforcing the notion that Jake is nothing more than a YouTube boxer who can't compete with seasoned professionals. The consequences for Jake are massive. A loss would hurt his reputation irreparably. The fallout from this fight extends beyond the immediate result. For Tyson, a loss would impact his legacy. He could go from being one of the most feared fighters ever to a faded legend. As for Jake Paul, a win would put him on the map as a serious boxer, but a loss could mean the end of the hype surrounding him and a public relations nightmare. The consequences for both are significant. This fight could shape their futures for years to come. On November 15, 2024, the fight between Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Who will win, and whom do you support? As the Tyson versus Jake Paul fight draws near, the focus shifts not just to the fighters, but to the opinions of experts and fans. Will Tyson's power and experience outweigh Jake Paul's youthful energy and determination? Experts and fans are predicting the outcome, but who will come out on top? Mike Tyson's advantage: power, experience, and mentality. Tyson's experience and knockout power are his biggest advantages. Despite being 57, his mental strength and fighting style could still overwhelm Jake Paul if he taps into his old form. Experts debate if Tyson's past greatness is enough to overcome these challenges. Jake Paul's advantage: youth, determination, and unpredictability. Jake Paul's youth and commitment to boxing give him a major edge in terms of speed and endurance. He's trained with top coaches and has defeated other fighters, though none as legendary as Tyson. Jake's best chance is to outlast Tyson, using his agility to wear Tyson down. The question remains, can Jake handle the mental pressure of fighting a legend like Tyson? Fans are divided. Some believe Tyson, boxing legend, will dominate the fight. Jake Paul has no business in the ring with Tyson. Others feel Jake's heart and drive could lead him to victory. Jake's got the hustle to make history. Some fans argue the fight is more about entertainment than competition. It's a circus act, not a real fight. Boxing trainers are split. Some feel Tyson's power will end the fight early, while others worry about his ring rust. Jake Paul's coaches are confident in his abilities, stating that he's ready for a world-class fight. An expert predicts that while Tyson is more skilled, Jake's drive could be the key difference. On November 15, 2024, the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, who will win and who do you support? Boxing isn't just won in the ring, it's determined long before the first punch. The health, fitness, and physical toll on fighters are crucial factors in any matchup. As we analyze the potential fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, the question arises, can Tyson's aging body hold up against Jake Paul's youth and conditioning? Or will Jake's fitness be enough to withstand Tyson's aggression? At now 57 years old, Tyson's past glory is undeniable, but his age brings concerns. Boxing's demands get harder as fighters age, and Tyson has already experienced a decline in muscle mass, speed, and recovery time. While he still maintains basic fitness, can his body handle a competitive bout? Tyson's past injuries, particularly with his back and knees, have also been a concern. Though his knockout power remains, his footwork and mobility may be compromised, especially against a younger opponent like Jake Paul. Will Tyson's body hold up for a prolonged fight? Jake Paul, at 27 years old, is in the prime of his physical condition. His transition from YouTube star to boxer has been marked by consistent training, improving his strength, speed, and endurance. Unlike Tyson, Jake's fitness is at its peak, but how will he fare against someone with Tyson's experience and power? Jake has shown he can go the distance in fights against Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren, but will his stamina be enough to withstand Tyson's early onslaught? Jake's fitness may help him evade Tyson's pressure, but the real question is whether he can handle the mental and physical toll Tyson is known for inflicting on his opponents. Can Jake survive Tyson's brutal attacks? Tyson brings power and experience, but his age and injuries will force him to be strategic and conserve energy. On the other hand, Jake Paul is strong, fast, and in peak condition. His ability to outlast Tyson in the later rounds could be a key advantage, but can he handle Tyson's relentless mentality and power? On November 15, 2024, the fight between Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul will take place. Who will win, and whom do you support? When a fight between boxing legend Mike Tyson and the rising star Jake Paul is announced, the excitement is palpable. The outcome could swing either way, and this matchup is sure to keep fans on the edge of their seats. Let's explore some likely scenarios and the strategies both fighters could employ to win. Scenario 1. Tyson wins quickly, the early knockout. Mike Tyson's aggressive and power-packed style could overwhelm Jake Paul early in the fight. Tyson's reputation for landing explosive knockout punches is legendary, and his goal would be to end the fight quickly. By closing the distance and applying constant pressure, Tyson could dominate Paul, forcing him into a defensive position. If Tyson lands clean shots in the early rounds, Jake may not be able to recover. Tyson's strategy. Tyson would need to press forward, using speed and power to land heavy punches, targeting the body to sap Paul's stamina, and avoiding a prolonged exchange where Paul could outlast him. Jake Paul's best chance is to survive Tyson's early onslaught and wear him down. If Paul can avoid the knockout and keep his distance, he may gain an advantage as Tyson tires. Jake's youth and stamina could allow him to capitalize in the later rounds, where Tyson's energy may start to fade. Jake's strategy. Paul would rely on footwork and defensive skills to avoid getting caught by Tyson's heavy shots. By staying elusive and landing counterpunches, he could outlast Tyson and potentially steal a win by decision or knockout in the later rounds. As Tyson ages, his endurance may diminish. If he doesn't secure an early knockout, he could slow down, giving Jake Paul an opening. With Tyson's energy levels dropping, Jake could start to dominate, using his superior conditioning to outlast the veteran and take control in the later rounds. Tyson's strategy. Tyson must pace himself, control the pace, and avoid expending too much energy early. If he slows too much, he risks letting Paul take over and steal the victory. Although unlikely, Jake Paul could land a clean shot and knock out Mike Tyson, especially if Tyson's defense isn't sharp and his stamina falters. If Paul stays patient and capitalizes on Tyson's mistakes, this upset could happen. Jake's strategy. Jake would need to remain calm and wait for an opening. If he spots a mistake or an opening in Tyson's defense, he could capitalize and land a knockout blow. The air is electric as Mike Tyson and Jake Paul prepare to clash. This isn't just another fight, it's a battle between legend and new blood, power versus strategy. The world is waiting to see how the two fighters will collide, and every moment is charged with the potential to reshape careers. The arena is buzzing, with fans filling their seats, some sporting Tyson's iconic gear, others wearing Jake's. The lights dim and the crowd quiets, feeling the anticipation build. The electric atmosphere sets the stage for what's about to unfold. As the fighters settle into their corners, the buzz intensifies. The bell rings and the fight begins. Every punch, every movement, every shift in momentum is met with a roar from the crowd. The atmosphere is surreal, with the fighters and fans alike caught in the intensity of the moment. As the fight progresses, Tyson's aggressive power and Jake's counterpunching create a high-stakes drama. Every round builds toward a climax, with the crowd on the edge of their seats, reacting to every punch, every dodge, every swing. The energy is palpable as the fight reaches its peak, with the whole world watching. On November 15, 2024, the fight between Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul will take place. Who will win, and whom do you support? On November 15, 2024, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul faced off in one of the most anticipated matchups in boxing history. Now that the fight is concluded, the real question is, what happens next? Will Tyson's victory solidify his legacy?
But I'm gonna take your throne, brother.
He the manufactured killer.
Or will Jake Paul's unexpected rise continue to take the spotlight? The result of this fight will have far-reaching consequences for both their careers. If Mike Tyson wins, it would be a fitting capstone to his legendary career, proving that even at 58, he still has the fire to compete. Tyson's victory would further cement his place in boxing history, but his age raises the question, is this his final fight? If Tyson loses, the fallout could be severe, as doubts about his relevance in modern boxing may arise. Regardless of the outcome, Tyson's legacy as one of the greatest to ever step into the ring will remain intact. For Jake Paul, a victory over Tyson could be the ultimate validation of his boxing career, showing he is not just a social media star,
Updated house tour. We put $2 million.
but a legitimate contender in the sport. However, if Paul loses, he risks being dismissed as a novelty fighter, with critics questioning his ability to face real competition. The result of this fight could dramatically shape Jake's future in boxing, either paving the way for more high-profile matchups or leaving him in the shadow of Tyson's legacy. Who will win this epic showdown? Mike Tyson, despite his age, remains a dangerous fighter with years of experience. His strength and deadly power could be too much for Jake Paul, but Jake's youth and stamina might give him an edge. If Paul can survive Tyson's early assault, he might find a chance to upset the legend. However, if I had to choose, I would lean towards Tyson, as his skill and experience may outlast Paul's youthful energy. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Who do you think will win the fight between Tyson and Jake Paul? And who are you supporting?